Hi traders, and welcome to the daily recap show for today, which is Wednesday the 2nd of March. So on the FTSE, we said FTSE had broken out of its small range and remained bearish. We did talk about if we held 73.60 to 73.74 as resistance, but we also said if we gained acceptance above 73.60 to 73.74, then we have resistance today at 74.30 to 43, with main resistance at 74.83 to 74.98. So let's go and see how the market played out today. So as you can see, the market opened up here and we got that really strong impulsive move up into that 73.60 to 73.74 zone, which was the support level of the range that had been broken. We got an initial reaction from that level, but then we got the impulsive push through, which took us back above that level and gave us that acceptance back above that zone. Now, as we said, if we could gain acceptance above 73.60, 73.74, then we could see moves up towards 74.30 to 74.43, and we got a long period of consolidation. So we got that initial push through, and as you can see, we've got this really long period of consolidation up until the American markets open today. But as soon as that, we used that 73.60 to 73.74 zone as support multiple times. The best reversal pattern actually come here, just before the US Open. But there was plenty of opportunities to get long from that support zone there as well. So although there's a long period of consolidation, it held that zone of support, which showed that we was getting acceptance above that zone as well. So plenty of time to get into that trade. And then we saw, as soon as the US market opened, we saw that push up into that 74.30 to 74.43 zone. We've now broken above there, and we are making our way towards that 74.83 to 98 zone. So we'll have to see what happens overnight with that, and where we finish up in the morning as to where we sit tomorrow. But this zone works really nice today. It was a great inflection point. We got the initial reaction from it, but as soon as we saw the acceptance, we held that zone all day, and then we pushed up in the afternoon. So a great opportunity there for a nice trade. So now let's go and take a look at the DAX. Okay, so we said DAX remained bearish, and if we saw further sustained breaks below 13,785 to 810, then we could see a further downside. We said if we gained acceptance back above 13,960 to 985 resistance, then we may see a brief move higher towards resistance zones above. So let's go and have a look at today's action. So, as you can see from the market this morning, we actually had this 13,785 to 810 zone actually was quite choppy. The action didn't respect that zone at all well today. We got the initial push down, although we never received acceptance below that zone. We never got a sustained break below. We got the push up, we got another push down. We didn't even make a lower low before we then pushed higher. So this zone wasn't actually well respected today, so we will have to review that and maybe adjust our zones tomorrow as well. Now, we had this, we mentioned the 960 to 985 zone as resistance, and we've got a couple of opportunities here for a short. We've got one here. There's a small one here, however we didn't quite take out those highs, so I probably would not have taken this one. We hadn't created the liquidity grab here. We had just taken out the overnight highs, so we'd grab that liquidity. Here we hadn't done that. The next reaction from that zone was up here when we actually took out those highs and grabbed that liquidity. However, this would have been a fairly dangerous reversal and not one I would have taken. Reason being, we had gained some acceptance above that zone, and we spoke about being above. If we was above that zone, we could move towards the resistance zones higher. So although this one worked, having grabbed the liquidity, I think this one would have been one to avoid. And then obviously as soon as we got the American session, here towards the end of the session, we've actually gained acceptance above that zone and we have started moving higher. But these zones higher are all quite choppy. They're not great trade locations. These are areas that you want to manage your trades in if you're in longs. So once again, we've now moved above that zone of resistance. So we will have to see what the DAX does overnight. We are still bearish, but if we start gaining back above some of these resistance zones, then we may be able to start looking for some longs as the market is a little bit extended away from the moving averages on the daily chart. But that is a wrap for today's session. The FTSE offered a great chance for a trade. The DAX early on was very choppy, not offering too much. However, this resistance area did offer at least one good opportunity there. So I hope you find this useful, guys, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Cheers.